Okay, so this video is going to show you how to work out percentages of a quantity, but do bear in mind there is a much quicker way if you're allowed to use a calculator. So this video is just where you're taking a non-calculator paper. So for example, let's imagine we've got to work out 16% of 2,400. Now the secret with these, always start off by working out what 10% is. So I'm going to go and do my 10% over here. Whoops. My 10% over here. Now to work out 10%, you just divide by 10. So if the number ends in a naught, you just take a naught off. If it doesn't end in a naught, you just move the decimal place along. So basically 10% of 2,400 is £240. Now you use that really as a building block. Imagine that as a bit of Lego. Say that's the yellow brick. So that's £240. Now how am I going to get to a 16%? Well, I think I might do a 10, a 5 and a 1. So let's go and work out what a 5% would be. Well, a 5% is just going to be half of 10%. So half of 240 is £120. Now I'm going to build up my 16% by having one of these blocks, and a 1% block. Now how do I work out 1%? Well, I could go and divide this one by 5, but a lot easier to go back to the 10% and divide this by 10. So what is the tenth of 240? Well, that's £24. Now in order to build my 16%, I'm going to need a 10%, a 5% and a 1%. Those three bits of Lego together will give me my 16%. So my 10% was 240, my 5% was 120, my 1% is 24. Then I go and add those together. Naught and naught and 4 is 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 3, 384. So 16% of 2,400 is 384. Let's have a go at another one. So let's say, for example, we've got to work out 31%. Well, I'm going to need a 10%, which is £160. And I can already see in my mind that I'm going to want a 10, a 10, a 10 and a 1. So I'm not going to bother working out a 5% on this occasion. I'm going to work out what a 1% is. What a 1% is. 1% I go and divide this one by 10, so that's £16. So to work out my 31%, I'm going to need a 10%, a 10%, and a 10%, and a 1%. So that is 160, 160, 160, and 16. These together add up to 31%. So we're adding these up together. We've got a 6 there. 6, 6, 6, and 1 is 19. And 1, 2, 3, and the 1 is 4. So 31% of 1,600 is £496. Now one final example I want to do. Say we had to do 19%. You might decide to do that with a 10, a 5, a 1, 1, 1 and a 1. But perhaps you could also see that could actually be a 20% take away 1%. So as always, start with a 10% and say divide that by 10, that's 160. And I'm going to need to know what a 1% is. I divide this one by 10 and that's 16. So I'm going to start off by working out what 20% is. That's a 10% and a 10%. So that's 160, add 160, which is 320. And from that I need to take away 1%. So I'm going to take away 1% from that, taking away 16 from that, and that gives me £304. So it's building blocks, it's Lego. And probably easier just to have lots of different bits of Lego adding up, but sometimes if something's got a 9 or something on the end, it might be easier to do a 10, a 10 and take away a 1. But don't forget, you could have done this a longer way. You could have done 19 by doing a 10, a 5, a 1, a 1, 1 and a 1. So that's it. I hope that helps.